Infinite ammo.
Go for it.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the IAS podcast, episode 5. Forgot to mention what's the EU one, so yeah. Hi!
Hello.
What's up?
Good evening.
What take
Hey, how you wonderful people doing?
Good.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Sure.
We're all super into this right now. Yes. Anyway, I'm Akibana Zero,
Yes. And you're gonna read the first topic,
and
right
I'm gonna
now.
read the first question because that's what I'm supposed to do. Okay. Number 1. DICE temporarily turns off in-game purchases after the massive backlash of their integration in Star Wars Battlefront 2. This is kind of like part number 200 for me because I've been discussing this in my own podcast forever now.
We have an expert in our stream now.
Yes.
I am all up in all
that's great.
this
We can all
EA
mute our mics
loot
and
box
just let them
business.
talk.
I have a PhD in EA loot boxes.
Yes. They also
What do you all think about this?
Has anyone been following this in the entire week? It's been so funny to watch.
yes.
Entire
Doubt.
backlash is just so funny.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
I just
apparently,
if there's one website, social media website on this entire internet that you do not want to piss off, it's got to be Reddit. And oh my god, the EA of like.
It's been so
Believe it.
delicious to watch
it's-
and read everything.
Did you see in order to try and like reduce their backlash, they did an AMA, and that was another mistake they made on their part.
Yeah, it's like the most downvoted
Yeah.
thing on Reddit history, right?
I don't even know why they decided to do that.
It will,
well,
yeah,
the,
it was.
the AMA isn't. But
I tell you why they
AMA
did
was
it, because
terrible.
the EA masters made them. They're like, go make us look less bad than we really are.
The AMA was like it's a natural like PR damage control. Basically, there was nothing special about that.
But they made it worse.
Yeah, they made it actually worse. It's like PR damage control gone wrong, almost. And then you had, I see Renegade shit posting memes in the chat. But, and then you have the most downvoted comment in Reddit's history, which is really bad.
it's amazing. They have over 20 times the number of downvotes compared to the previous most downvoted post in
Keep
Reddit
it-
history.
Keep in mind, how Reddit downvotes work is that if you vote it up, it takes away from your downvote if you have more downvotes than, positives. It's either, it can never go down, like it must go down or up,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like plus minus, So that means over at least 700,000 people just downvoted that shit.
What did they try to do on there? What did they try to explain on that Reddit? What did they do?
Didn't it get so bad though that like even like developer comments were downvoted so much that people from the AMA team had to go in and create separate links for each of the devs' responses because they were downvoted so much you couldn't see them easily.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fucked
but
up.
the comments themselves didn't really tell you anything. They were just like, we know things are bad, we're working on it, to everyone. And they completely dodged every single microtransactions question, so it wasn't really that big a success
Well,
for them.
At one point, somebody tried to damage control by saying, "Oh, I'd received death threats," and then people did some research, and that game did, or that game dev did not even work for EA at all.
Well done.
Yeah, but that's the internet being stupid. Like some people always have to go to the extreme. Like COD developers and others have had death threats before over. Well, you should never get a death threat over a game. But yeah, It's just the internet being the internet, unfortunately, in that respect.
Also,
Yeah,
are the developer really responsible for the loot boxes, or is it more, publisher?
Publishing company.
Yeah, that's what I mean, because is it the publisher who basically said, yeah, developers, go make an AMA, throw them to the wolves, basically, go and do that, have fun.
This was a higher up decision.
Oh, damn.
I don't believe that DICE or any of the developers were like, yeah, we're gonna completely try to like sucker all of our fans or our customers.
I'm pretty sure none of the devs wanted to be a part of
This
that.
sounds like a higher up EA thing, where like fucking rich people are like, yeah, you know what works? Microtransactions. Get out of that. They'll fucking buy that because gamers are stupid.
But here's the thing, right? Microtransactions do work. Like, we can crap on EA all we want, but I'm not saying it's anyone's individual fault in here. But as a gaming community, it is our fault for this being in there in the first place. Like with Mass Effect 3, that former BioWare dev, I think is it Manbit here, he said someone spent $15,000 on those cards, for the card packs. Like, why wouldn't EA?
Yeah.
I disagree that it's a community thing, though. I completely disagree that it's a community thing, though. I think it's the majority of people who buy these games are not, in fact, part of the gaming community in the sense that these are the real hardcore gamers that really love gaming and they go on Reddit and all that. These are like everyday Joes who see a Star Wars game and they're like, I want to get in on that shit. So they buy it and they pay for the microtransactions. They are the majority, guys. I'm pretty sure we as the gaming community are more like closer to a minority than a majority of the customers that buy games by EA.
Yeah, I don't know. Spending $15,000, man, sounds pretty hardcore.
Yeah, that might be an extreme. To be fair, that's not everyday microtransaction guy that does that.
Yeah, of course. But you have whales in every gaming community, right? Whether it's mobile gaming or console gaming or PC gaming, right? And it's EA trying to appeal to those whales, and obviously they don't mind pissing off everyone else in the interim because they're still going to make money. And obviously, in this case, they had enough of a backlash for them to, try and scale things back a bit. But again, it's only temporary change, so.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll see what happens.
There's enough people who want microtransactions. That's really the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, these people who just basically don't have enough time to play that game every day for 5 hours. They will never get there. So for them, microtransaction is a godsend, And there's just people who are not good enough, people who don't care enough to grind for hours and hours. That's the people who buy microtransactions, I guess. But as you said, the core gamers who really want to dig in and play the game, they will not. I completely agree with you there.
Yeah.
I think the worst part of it is the fact that microtransactions that significantly affect gameplay, then everyone is finds it a big problem, regardless of whether you like microtransactions or despise them. If it's affecting core gameplay, then there's nobody safe from the microtransactions. If you don't buy it, you fail, and if you buy into it, you do better. It's just. That's when I know the incentive is there for people then to start buying microtransactions, but it's not a moral way of making money whatsoever.
Yeah, especially if it's the microtransactions are a part of the multiplayer experience, then it's really the point where it's pissing me off. I mean, if you want to ruin your own single-player experience by just buying all the stuff and finish the game in 5 minutes, go ahead. If that's funny to you, yeah, do it. But in the multiplayer experience, if you have someone who can just buy himself the best stuff and just kill you, that's not fun.
Yeah. But you've also got not just the EA, you've got the Activision side where they filed the patent that they filed that was just approved last month that had the matchmaking where if you were killed by someone who had this specific gun, you could have bought that gun with people who might incentivize you to buy that gun or wear that hat that you've always been looking for. That is where things go terrible.
That is just like, oh well, wouldn't you like to win? Well, here, give us $15. Wouldn't you like to win? Wouldn't you like to kill this guy who's been killing you for like 20 minutes? Give us $15. Come on.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Right over there that headshotted you, $15. You can get it right now with the click of a button.
Yeah, that would have been even better. In the kill cam, you see a zoom in on his weapon and a price tag or something. Great.
That is exactly what I'm thinking.
So some people argue that with certain mobile games back in the day, that if you play the free version without paying to skip levels or whatever, for some mobile games, this was back like 3 years ago. There were huge talks about the moment you'd spend a single dollar or whatever, you would what is it called? It would know that you were willing to spend money, so it upped the difficulty for the next randomized level by so much, just because it knew that you were willing to spend money.
There's some kind of algorithm where it's like, okay, so you bought one thing. All right, well, let's try and get you to buy two more things.
Mm-hmm.
So insidious, all of this.
I think the thing going back to microtransactions in multiplayer, you could say that if you buy into the game, like Activision's one where you get matchmaking with people who have a certain item that you want. The problem is coming back to the second moral debate that both Activision and EA have, which is the gambling aspect, where if you pay $30, pounds, euros for microtransactions, the system that they have in place with loot crates or ammo or boxes or whatever they want to call it is that you're not guaranteed to get anything that you want. You have to randomly obtain it. I've had in other games like Call of Duty Black Ops 3 where special limited edition camos came out, and I ended up spending, I think it was 1,000 in-game, which is like 15 to 20 loot box hits until actually getting that thing, which would be equivalent of like 30. It's ridiculous. Just that aspect of it is the absolute worst part of the microtransaction debate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one stupid thing stacked on top of another stupid thing. Absolutely.
And one other thing that people are not talking about with these loot boxes is that, yeah, sure, they're gambling, and, well, it's not 100% clear if they're gambling until some people do some research, although they do fall into that definition, but that's a different story. It's that these loot boxes are governed by a code written by this company. Who is to say that they're not going to manipulate the odds the way they want them to?
Oh yeah.
Who regulates that? How is that even regulated? I mean, that's not even like discussed.
Isn't there like some website on China or something where if you release a game in China, with that kind of algorithm or with that kind of like gambling that's not gambling but is actually gambling, come on, it's gambling, like Overwatch, is there like some website in China where you're like obligated to put on like what the chances are of like getting a successful skin in the loot box or something?
Yeah, the Chinese government themselves mandated that. So then initially people could see in Overwatch how likely they were to get like a legendary skin. Then I think Blizzard changed it. They skirted around the law. So I think you now get currency or something to buy the skins or something. Sorry, I can't exactly remember what they did, but they found a way around that. But yeah, the Chinese government mandated that in terms of loot boxes, it has to show the level percentage chance you have of attaining whatever item.
It's not a website, it's in-game too. Like it's supposed to be in the game.
Yeah.
That's actually a smart thing coming out of China for once.
Yeah.
They
That's
really have
Them,
gambling over there.
like banning PUBG, but whatever.
I'd like to see
It has to do with licensing though. That's like, it's not like they just randomly banned PUBG. It had to do with the way, like Daniel Ahmad, who I think is an analyst one of those financial analysts who works in games in like the Far East. He commented on this on the new website that those guys from NeoGAF made after that got shut down about this, and it isn't as simple as they've just banned PUBG. It has to do with the way the licensing and things are done there. So I think they can still be released there as long as they follow whatever process. But yeah, it's not like they just banned it for no reason.
Yeah, but it was also one of them stated like something along the lines that it went against like moralistic values or whatever the fuck. It was really weird. I don't know. There were a lot of shit behind that, so I don't know. It was very that was a shit show.
Apparently, the Belgium government is looking now into like basically specifically Battlefront 2 and Overwatch to start. They're researching these games to define and determine whether or not loot boxes are gambling.
It's been raised in the UK Parliament too now as well.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Which is weird because every game that has like skins tied to Steam or whatever, you can actually use your Steam account. You can actually gamble for real with those skins, which is even worse. You know, like how CS:GO does it and stuff. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like that should be more looked into as well. But I don't see any government mentioning CS:GO at all. Almost, it's very weird.
Those, yeah, dude. Eventually, someone's gonna make make a law for this, and there's gonna be some sort of like law against doing this. But until then, like companies are gonna try to like find new ways to like skirt any sort of like technicality about is it gambling? Is it not gambling? It's technically not gambling since every single loot box has something in it, so it's technically not gambling. But it is just gambling, yeah. But it's
what I'm hating is the comparison to Magic the Gathering, which is something that's being thrown around a lot.
Oh, that's bullshit. Yeah,
it's absurd, right? I mean, you're. Yes, sure, you don't know what comes in on each pack, but it's a physical card. I could do with it whatever I want. I could keep it as a collection. I can sell it. I can trade it.
Yeah, also, it's at base...
Other card games don't let me trade.
It's a trading card game. That's the base of it. I mean, it's not like if they put in some random stuff in another game. That's the game itself. So that's what you agree on from the start, that you deal with this kind of randomness.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But even still, you can trade it, like you said. It's a trading card game. You can trade it. You can sell it if it becomes a card of high value or if it's rare enough. You can do a bunch of things with it. You can even make a collage for your wall, for crying out loud. It's a physical item. It's not nearly the same thing at all.
Absolutely, yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's the digital version of Magic the Gathering, which I kind of find weird, because there you buy virtual cards, the same kind of cards you could buy in reality, but yeah, okay.
Then again, same thing can be applied to Hearthstone. I mean, in Hearthstone it also makes sense because it's still a trading card game. If
it's
only
not a trading card game.
in...
That's the thing. They have dust to deal with the fact that you get duplicates.
Yeah.
Which is not even a useful currency for anything else but Hearthstone. Not even useful currency for other Blizzard games.
Yeah.
It's useless currency. Therefore, it's, again, not nearly the same thing. And what worries me is... Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you were saying something. Go ahead.
No, I was done.
Good, sure. Well, I don't know. Did you guys hear... I know this might seem unrelated, but there is a point to this. Did you hear about Marvel Heroes being shut down?
Yes.
Yeah, right. So that game has been shut down, and a bunch of people who got into the game late or have been playing it for years, all their stuff gone. Poof.
Yep.
See, there's that other problem again with loot boxes is that, again, you're paying for items that one day the publisher might decide this game's not making money anymore. Shut it down. Bye-bye items. Bye-bye money.
Yeah, meanwhile, you can't nuke Magic the Gathering physically,
Exactly.
It's like...
Yeah, it's not quite the same thing. That's true.
going to the whole legal aspect of the gambling and microtransactions, just to provide some sort of counter argument to the entire thing. What will be the effect on the pay-to-win games? You people who are a bit like, not pay-to-win, sorry, free-to-play games, the actual free-to-play games, who rely on microtransactions, because obviously what we see is the big companies are now pay for this $60, $80 game, and we will get you to pay even more money for this using a free-to-play model. But the actual free-to-play games, because whatever law would ever come out of this would be board for all games, and the free-to-play model might actually suffer a little more heavily.
Yeah, especially with loot boxes. I mean, there's a lot of free-to-play games where you can buy stuff, but it's not loot box random based. So, yeah, that might still work, but yeah, I know what you mean.
I guess whatever law comes out is going to be based around the idea that, okay, you can have this loot box mechanic, but you have to up the age rating on your game.
Oh, yeah.
That's the first thing that's going to be affected, and therefore, free-to-play games in that regard, how they would be affected, I guess it would have to be like stricter things on like an app store that says like, oh, this game has gambling in it, so keep it away from your kids, that kind of thing.
It's
like one of the things that made Pokemon Red and Blue Peggy 12.
Oh yeah,
I
definitely.
think it's the only game that's not Peggy 3 out of the Pokemon series.
Yeah, because of the gambling hole they had in it, right?
Yes.
Yes. Which is hilarious.
That's kind of fun, yeah.
And another thing as well with the whole EA thing, with their microtransactions and stuff. The one good thing, I guess, that Activision have done with their patent, Activision have said that they're not actually implementing anything from their patent in the game ready. I put in anything. They filed the patent in 2015. They could have put it in the last 3 Call of Duty games, but so far they haven't. But what they have done is blocked any other company from using their related algorithm they have. So in a sense, if they continue not to use it, I guess that is a win against EA. Even if it's not a win for gamers, it's a win against EA for the lengths that they'd be able to go to force people to buy into.
I mean, it goes both ways. It's a win against EA, but it's also a lose against Activision because we really don't know.
Yeah, it makes me really nervous to know that they have something on the side they can put in a game anytime now. That really makes me nervous, actually.
Scary.
Yeah. Plus, I know they filed it in 2015, but it wasn't approved until was it last month or something?
But it doesn't stop them. It doesn't stop them from implementing it in their game at all.
Right.
They can file for the patent and still use that mechanic. Just the only thing is, other people could copy it up until they've actually got the patent. Could have used it and not told anyone.
The patent only says,
that's another thing.
That's what the patent says. It's a patent, you know. I mean, there's some sub points here as EA buys Titanfall developer Respawn.
Ooh, that I'm very nervous about that.
Yeah, because they were only contracted to work with, like doing Titanfall, but now that they actually bought them, now I'm very scared for that studio because they're very competent, in my opinion.
I don't understand what the people at that company thought when they're like, oh yeah, EA is gonna buy us. Oh, we're gonna be a subsidiary of EA. Oh, that never worked terribly for any company. Oh wait, but whatever happened to Visceral Games?
There's not a single company from early pre-2000, I think, that actually is still with EA to this day. They've all been shut down or somehow got out of it.
To be fair, if they were successful, they wouldn't need to be bought in the first place.
Yeah, I think
I don't know about that.
Actually, there from like the early 2000s are DICE still. I think that's the only one they still have.
I don't know about if you're successful enough, you don't need to be bought. I think it depends on the level of success you can have going forward in your avenue. Like what's the name of that? Humble Bundle. They got bought by IGN, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably hit the maximum level of success they could within the infrastructure and framework they have. So for them, getting on board with IGN probably made sense in terms of now we have access to more resources, we can big infrastructure, we can do more, and so forth and so forth. I personally think, with all due respect to Respawn devs, they're stupid, because from my understanding, the guys who started Respawn were the same guys who created the Call of Duty franchise at Activision. Yeah. And then they had that terrible... they had that breakup. So it's like, I don't see... It's like they're setting themselves up for history to repeat again. I hope I'm wrong. But it's like...
There's a reason why you would want to get bought out too, because EA would pay for the development of certain stuff too, or at least cover a lot of it, you know?
Like BioWare, I think, was a successful company up to a point before they aligned with EA. But then, obviously, being with EA has allowed them to be on a bigger platform and do bigger and better things.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're also kind of under EA's control for quite a lot of the stuff, because in order to get the investment, they kind of have to go by EA's terms rather than their own development will.
Yeah.
That's what our Titanfall has been worried about as well. And Zampella, Respawn CEO, came out and said, "Don't worry, guys, we're still the same Respawn, and we're gonna do things the way you know that we've been doing them and all that." It's very comforting to say, but you know, it still makes all of us Titanfall fans quite nervous, because that game had an amazing business model.
But the thing that how EA works is like it doesn't just completely change your company from day one. It's going to do that like incrementally. It's going to do that with like tiny steps. It's okay, let's change this one thing. Okay, let's do this thing. This one thing. Let's do it slightly different. Just little tiny steps, little tiny things. Oh, we'll change this, we'll do that. Oh, a little bit of microtransactions, just a little bit. And next version, oh, let's do a little bit, just up it a little bit. And then eventually, it's just like you in like a year and a half, your entire company will be almost unrecognizable in how it's just been completely taken over by EA. Because that's what it do. It just completely infiltrates your company and just turns it into a husk. And then once it outlives its usefulness, it just gets completely gutted. Like every other...
When you draw the line, gets further and further away until, you know, the line is basically meaningless.
Yeah, EA is the reason people don't like change. Like, change is inevitable, and it's not always bad. Like, since Amazon bought Twitch, I don't think Twitch has necessarily gone backwards as someone who watches streams and streams. Like, it's probably only gotten better, arguably.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, companies like EA, they make you worry about change. And, yeah, I know, I wish the best for Respawn and for the Titanfall franchise going forward, but I don't have much hope.
I agree, actually.
No.
Also, more sub points here. EA liquidates Dead Space developer Visceral Games. We already talked about this a little bit. Visceral, you know.
It still sucks, but yeah, it was something that was bound to happen.
Yeah.
Jim Sterling called it like a year or two ago.
Yeah, he did. It was like...
Prophet has spoken.
It was clear after from like the beginnings of Dead Space 2 with this completely unnecessary multiplayer and all the other shit that it put in, and then Dead Space 3, and then that was just like classic EA. Just take something that was good, that was doing perfectly well for its niche market, and then just try and like make it appeal to like every single person, which means that eventually it'll appeal to no one, and then it doesn't sell, and then it's disemboweling time.
Yeah.
And it's sad, but at the other end, we could have seen, you could have seen, we saw this coming.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, it's sad. Dead Space was an interesting franchise. Just from the story-wise, it was very interesting to me. But yeah.
Yeah.
It was okay, but yeah, it was an interesting franchise. When Hardline came out, and here's the thing: Hardline is not a bad game. People like to say it's really bad, and it's not a bad game. It's just not different from 4, you know. So they kind of shot themselves in the foot by making the same game there. You know, there's zero reason to play Hardline, you know, over Battlefield 4, which got, you know, just had more content at the time, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has EA sold off the Dead Space franchise as a result? Or are they still keeping it? They've just gotten rid of it.
I'm sure they're keeping it, and like keeping it until like maybe thinking like, oh, maybe we can make a mobile game out of this, or like just throw it in some kind of like, just throw it in a big old vault next to like fucking Wing Commander, and all that, and like all the other game for like the Command and Conquer, like is some kind of like trophies or something. Yeah, I don't think
Probably do with it. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I was going to say they'll probably do with it.
They could ask one of their mobile devs to make a Bejeweled clone.
Oh God.
Dead Space. That'd be the ultimate fuck.
Yep, that would be the death nail.
Yep.
That's just like taking the corpse and just letting it dance for you.
Yep.
I think I've seen. I remember an interview that an ex-BioWare employee made, where they said that EA is just technically that comes back to the old microtransaction, which I'm not going to go back to again, but like the Star Wars game that Visceral was apparently going to make, the single-player Star Wars game.
Yeah.
EA has now taken that game and still is saying that they're going to try and like brand it so that it'll appeal to a broader market now, which is honestly really sounds super fucking sinister. Yeah, they're gonna infect that with so much fucking of their EA bullshit. That game is gonna be completely unrecognizable from like the original design.
They're quote unquote pivoting its design.
Yeah.
That sounds scary.
Always does.
Yeah. Anyway.
So the next point over here is about Need for Speed Payback, which debuts with very polarizing reviews, to say the least. I would actually say.
I have a tiny rant here.
Yeah.
I checked the car list for Need for Speed Payback. It's so fucking lacking, because here's the thing: I'm sucker for certain vehicles or cars, whatever, you know, in a car game, whatever, you know. When you make a car game, it's a very niche market, you know, and that very niche market, they want to drive the car that they really like, you know. I have a little rant. Their roster is so fucking lacking that I was uninterested. For example, they don't have a single Toyota in there. What? It's like, yes! It's like, what? It's like, they have fucking Volvos in there, you know, Swedish Volvos, but not Toyotas. It's like, what?
Next you'll tell me there's no Skyline in it either.
I don't think there was.
What the hell?
Yeah, they do have a skyline.
They do.
Yeah,
Okay.
They have a lot of skylines.
Oh god.
That's weird. Makes you wonder if there was some kind of weird licensing issue, you know? But that's really weird.
Yeah, right.
Because I'm not a big fan of car games, but when I play something like that, I want to have a big choice of vehicles. Because, as Martin said, I want to choose exactly the car that I want to play with. But yeah, that's sad.
Have they hid their roster behind a paywall or something, or is it just the roster's lackluster period?
Loot boxes, I say.
Buy the new Toyota loot box.
Card packs. 'Cause it's all about cards in the card game.
Oh
Look at
god,
the
yeah.
quality. It's so lacking. It's so lacking.
I mean, I
Jesus
think
Christ.
the guy who has the best review for this game right now is Angry Joe. He has the best review for this game right now. I just totally encourage everybody to go watch it if you haven't.
I'm not a big fan of Angry O, to be honest.
Yeah, not
I
so
find him
much.
very
No,
weird. and
I'm not the
off-putting,
biggest
but-
either, but I think this review is very, very, very spot on. He like the idea that your mods come from cards. I'm confusing cars with cards here. Your mods come from cards is absolutely hilarious, and he just like talks about this in a very, very spot on sort of way. It's like, oh, put a card in your car so it can go faster.
I
I don't
watch
know.
that. I like Angry Joe, but I haven't seen that one yet. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, go ahead.
This podcast is sponsored by Angry Joe.
Oh
God, no.
no! No.
Better Angry Joe than EA. Although, I wouldn't mind some of that EA money saying that.
Yeah, that car list is very, very much bland. Somehow.
Yeah. It's very bland. At least
Yeah,
there's
so-
an Audi R8 in there. That's good.
I haven't played a Need for Speed game since that. What was it? Underground or what? It came out like right after Fast and Furious, and everyone loved it. This is like years.
Yeah, the one with the tuning and you could
Yeah.
put the lights under it.
It's gone downhill since then.
Yes, that's also the last one I played, actually.
I haven't played
good one,
any since then.
the last good one was like Undercover. Then it went
Right.
to total shit.
Like, I don't play car games, but even I was on that. Like that was such a good game.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people liked the Underground series. They were great. Anyways, let's move on from the car talk here.
Yeah, let's.
So, Doper, read number 2.
Yeah, that's my thing. Microsoft officially ends the productions on the Xbox Kinect. Right, so they finally stopped wanting to see me naked, running around naked in my. Finally.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a creepy accessory. Sorry, that's
One
really
less way
creepy.
for the government to spy on you.
Indeed.
Yes.
Conspiracy theories.
I don't know if anybody's gonna actually miss this, right?
I mean,
Did that thing,
Like Just Dance.
did that thing ever like work correctly or?
If they were not going to do anything with it, then just kill it off. But then again, I'm still very pissed off because on launch they sold that thing to everybody, saying, "Oh, it's gonna have lots of uses." You know, when they upped the asking price for the console, you know, because it had the Kinect, and then they just decided to kill it off. So it's basically like they force people to buy a useless piece of shit that they then just kill off. You know?
yeah.
Do you guys remember Project Milo?
Oh god, that was a creepy boy.
Oh, that fake creepy guy kid.
Yeah, right. So that's what they use, right? I think as like a proof of concept or something for when the Kinect came out. I was so hyped for the Kinect after I saw that video because I thought this is amazing. This is the future of gaming. Da 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 da. Man, I was so disappointed in the end result.
What good Kinect games are there? Are there even any good games for that thing? I don't remember.
There was a
People
Star
really
Wars
like the
game
Star
on
Wars Just
rails.
Dance game.
Oh,
What? Other than,
really?
like- Other than like Dance Central or Blue Estate, there's no good games.
Oh, Blue Estate. That is a good game though.
All right.
Yeah, but that was more for the humor than the actual, you know.
Yeah.
gameplay of it.
Well, to be fair, I don't have an Xbox and never had a Kinect, so I don't know. But
Yeah.
just wanted to know.
Yes.
The Kinect
Also,
hinged
my
on
daddy
the
came over.
idea that people would want to move around to play their games, and unfortunately, that's not what we want to do. Actually,
That's the same thing with when the first Nintendo Vi came out. At the start, people were very energetic, and then as soon as you found out that you just don't need to move your whole body, but it's enough just to move the controller, people just sat down again and just moved the controller around a bunch.
I play video games to avoid physical activity.
Yeah, kinda. It's a bit different with VR for me, but yeah, mostly I don't want to move. That's true.
Yeah.
I agree with Shadow there. If it's supposed to be VR, you should move.
Yeah,
I still haven't tried out any VR yet. Anything.
I would agree it's not quite ready yet. It still needs to find out certain things, but yeah.
yeah, I want to pick up a PSVR, but I can't really justify the purchase at the moment because there aren't any like there right now. What do you get? You get there's
6.
Resident Evil 7. And but that's just one game, and it's not enough. There's gonna be
Skyrim.
Skyrim.
Yeah, but that's that you teleport. You don't walk around. You teleport.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, it's
It
shitty.
makes more sense in the Doom VR game, I've heard.
Apparently,
They use
yeah.
the same mechanic, I think, in Doom VR, but I think people responded more positively to that mechanic in the Doom VR game more than Skyrim.
Yeah, it takes you out of the game. That's completely true.
That's completely the opposite of what a VR game is supposed to do.
Absolutely, yeah.
I guess Eve Valkyrie looks pretty interesting as well, but again, it feels very tech demo-y because it looks pretty short. And I mean that Batman game also looks interesting, but again, short tech demo type of thing. It's just I don't know. It's really not there for me yet at all.
Yeah,
VR is so
And I'm
cool.
super
though,
excited for VR. I've always been super excited. I'm a 90s.
The
kid, so
potential of it though is so good. Like I think it's only available on Steam, but I heard of this game this week called I think Aleppo Helsinki, where it's basically obviously the point of the game is you're in I think Helsinki, is it Finland or Sweden? Sorry, I can't remember which country Helsinki's in. Finland, thank you.
Finland.
But Helsinki is now how Aleppo is in Syria right now. And so you kind of experience what the people of Aleppo have gone through, and you have to do all these things. And see, things like that sound really cool to me. And you can't do that. It's harder to pull that off in a traditional game. Like VR is perfect for something like that.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that there's some if people work on it enough, they're gonna make like a game that will really sell like VR, like give you an experience that like no gaming accessory before had like given you. But they have to like make it exclusively for that. Like they have to really look at like, okay, what are the possibilities for this? What can we really do with this?
yeah. Just repackaging an old game with new mechanics is not enough to sell it.
No.
No, not at all.
I'm like if you give me like Skyrim VR or Fallout VR 4 VR, I'd be like, okay, you know what, fine, I'll try it for an hour, and then I'll never try it again because I have the non VR versions of that, and I've played those games. And
Plus, you can mod them. You can't mod VR yet.
Yeah, that's another big thing.
no. Well, I'm sure someone will find a way around that.
Yeah,
You know, Bethesda have even said, like, for now, there's no modding, but they've left the door open for it. I just don't, maybe they don't know how to yet, I imagine. Could tell you Creation Club on Skyrim VR or Fallout VR, they definitely.
We're gonna see fucking ponies in the VR.
horse armor. Enough said.
Unicorns in VR.
Nude mods!
Oh, that's the first thing they always mod. That you can be assured of that.
It's so predictable at this point.
Obviously,
Yes, I'm back.
yeah. Good.
I find it interesting that we've moved immediately. Once we mentioned Kinect, we just jumped right into VR.
Because it's
It's irrelevant.
it's more interesting.
Got all of these alternative.
It's a natural progression, I feel.
It is,
Yeah.
because they're all like alternative ways of playing games, and at the end of the day, the question is, how do these make gaming better? And then we always just gravitate back to good old controller.
True.
Say though, the Kinect I think had a better lifespan than the PlayStation iToy.
What was the PlayStation? I don't even know what the hell that was. Was that the Sony version of the Kinect or something?
No, that was
It was the Sony version of the Kinect. It was like a camera that they implemented into games where it was terrible. It was end of PS2's lifetime, and was kind of
Oh, so it was
told,
before
yeah,
the Kinect.
you can use iToy in PlayStation 3, but no game supported it.
Yeah, wasn't
I
there?
disagree. There was a card game that supported.
Yeah, there was a.
Okay, one or two games.
There was like the card
I heard good
game.
things about PlayStation Move, to be fair. I only ever heard good things about it.
So quickly.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, PlayStation Move.
I
Except for the
remember
fact
owning that thing, but there was some games for it, and here's the thing though: the tracking actually worked. Surprisingly enough, the tracking worked,
actually.
and that's what's so weird about it is that this piece of shit camera had actual tracking that worked in comparison to the Kinect, which had like games that did not work.
I think the thing with the PlayStation Move is that you can actually use those controllers now for VR, can't you?
Yeah, you still can.
It's exact same.
It's good Sony didn't like make you buy something new for it. They just were like, yeah, this old tech should work.
They marketed it as you having to do it though, but some people found out, wait, this is bullshit.
No, because you can use the control pad as well. Like you don't have to use the Move, right? I mean, maybe some games require it. But
I don't have the control pad. I have the PSVR, but
Right.
not the moves. And
Not the Move,
yeah,
right,
it works.
yeah.
You can play RE7 with that thing. It's pretty fun. Yeah. It's one of the better VR games on there.
It's another last kind of technology to make gaming a slightly better and more virtual like Kinect. But does anyone remember 6-axis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could, like
No, sorry.
that was marketed as, yeah, we can use it for so many games, but then again, not many developers could use it at all.
I remember it being in Uncharted 1, and you had to use the 6-axis to like aim the grenades, and then after like Uncharted 2 came out, and they just completely removed that shit because people kept complaining that it was shit.
Yeah, they used it like as a gimmick in a few games, and then they found out it's actually awkward and stupid.
Remember the Godfather Part 2 where you had to beat people up with that thing?
I think the only game I ever played in where it kind of worked was Flower.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is correct. Flower did work for it, but most of the stuff that comes out of that studio is pretty okay with 6-axis, I guess.
Yeah.
What is 6-axis? Sorry, I'm being ignorant and dumb.
It's like PlayStation's version of the Wii controller, where your PlayStation controller is motion sensitive.
Yeah.
And you tilt it, like for a racing game, you can turn left and right by tilting your controller just like you would a wheel, or you can do up, down, left, right motion for skydiving, for example, just by tilting your controller up, down, left, or right, etc. It's basically their poorly implemented version of the Wii controller.
Yeah, it was a regular controller with motion controls, basically. So, yeah.
How did that function in FPS games then?
It didn't very well.
It didn't.
No. Okay.
Cannot really remember any FPS game that used that.
No, none of them actually used it. It was more like a niche.
Oh no, wait, that's third person, but it's still. It could have been used for first person if they used the Uncharted grenade system.
True.
I know, like I said, it worked for the Godfather Part 2, when while you were holding people with the R2 button, you could swing that controller around like a motherfucker and beat them up. But the problem was that it was very sensitive at parts, so sometimes it would be like unresponsive, or you'd have to... You were nearly smashed the fucking controller into a wall. It's that bad. Like,
I almost smashed my controller when I was going for the platinum of Heavy Rain.
Oh god.
Because that was pretty bad for motion controls. Because you had this part in, what was it? There's the trophy for going through a construction site without making any mistakes in the parkour.
Oh
and there's a part where you literally have to balance on a beam using motion controls, and even sitting the controller on a desk that's perfectly flat, you'd still fail because the motion sensitivity was so shit.
What's the like famous chase scene in that game where you can like fail everything and just it will look hilarious?
That sounds like every chase scene in every rain.
Yeah. That game is like, that game is hilarious. I recommend it.
It is. It's fun. Like it's hilariously fun. Not for the reasons it should be, but it's still hilariously fun.
Yeah, I just have to
I
say.
played that had nudity in.
Oh yeah, that's true.
What about the Sean glitch in it?
Jason.
That's not a glitch. That's a feature.
Yes.
Yeah.
If this was not, I do remember a game which is the horror game Until Dawn. Technically, that's PS3, but PS4, where there's a part where you have to sit still and you can't move your controller.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, they had quick time events like that where if you move your controller, that was smart.
Yeah, unfortunately, that meant that one of the characters died because when just as I was having a pretty exhilarating chase sequence, and I had to be really, really quiet for 30 seconds, and at that time my cat jumped on my lap, and so my cat is now officially a NPC murderer.
Thank you, Doper's cat.
Yes.
Thank you.
Real killer.
Anyways,
everyone
the
who kills
Kinect! The Kinect!
Great accessory. I'm glad they still make it.
Yeah, 7 out of 10. Good job.
Yes.
IGN.
Yay, read the next question.
Before we do that, I'm gonna have to bounce because I still got work to do, and this is taking a bit longer than I thought. Sorry.
Yeah, this is gonna be a long one. Holy shit.
Okay.
Next time I'll just set up some more time, but I'm just submitting a dissertation tomorrow night. I have to.
All right.
Dude, good luck.
All right, thanks, guys.
Your shit.
I guess I'll just leave it right over here. Like anybody wants to follow me, I'm on Twitter at Akibana0, and of course I'm on YouTube as well. I got a channel, I guess. All right. Nice meeting you all, and enjoy the rest of your discussion.
Likewise, dude. Good luck.
See ya, dude.
Bye.
Take care, man.
Bye.
Take care.
All right, now with that out of the way, yay, read the next question.
Sure. So, impressions on Paris Games Week 2017. How would you guys rate the conference? So some of the games that were mentioned there, including Marvel Spider-Man, Final Fantasy 15's episode Igneous was mentioned. We had the Last of Us Part 2 new trailer, which was kind of controversial, along with the Detroit Become Human gameplay that they showed, and some other things as well.
Yeah,
I gotta say, the Last of Us trailer, that was fucking brutal.
it was good.
I haven't seen it, but that's what I keep hearing. Like, it made people feel uncomfortable.
Yeah,
but that's
like-
good, right? Like, as a media, as a form of entertainment, like that's good, right? That games can get you to that point where it makes you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's
That game should get you to that point. It's like the end of the world game, so you
right.
should feel disturbed.
It's not Dead Rising, isn't it?
No, but yeah, like I mean, like in the trailer, like you see them like clearly crushing a girl's arm, and like that, it's really fucking brutal. Like they take a hammer and like smash a girl's arm to pieces.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I would expect from that universe, kind of.
Yeah, definitely. Like people go crazy and they do every kind of thing they do, like they can think of to survive and shit. And some people just go mentally fucking batshit.
Overall, I thought it was an okay conference. You know, they showed some decent stuff. They showed the new Sucker Punch IP that looks interesting. You know, I can't say much about it because it was barely any gameplay, but you know, it looks interesting. You know, the setting and everything. It was an okay conference. I mean, what did you really expect? Do you expect them to fucking release Half-Life 3 or whatever? You know, it's like, I don't know.
I don't know if a Paris Games Week has ever gotten this much attention though. Like to be honest, I've never cared about Paris Games Week personally until I heard all about the Last of Us trailer, the whole gameplay they showed with Detroit Become Human, with a female victim of domestic violence and whatnot, and yeah, I don't even know if it's that big a deal in terms of the conference, not the topics.
Mm-hmm.
But what did you guys think about? I don't know if you saw or heard about the whole Detroit gameplay thing that annoyed some people.
I didn't hear about the Detroit thing. I heard about the Last of Us 2 thing.
So, as far as I'm aware, I didn't see it, but I did read David Cage's. I think he did an interview with Eurogamer about it, and I think in the game, I think you play as it's either a child or a woman, but basically a woman is being physically abused by her male partner.
Oh, but that's in every David Cage game, though. He always puts women getting beat up in his games. It's a weird thing he does. In every David Cage game. In Heavy Rain, there was violence against that one reporter girl you played as, like, always. Like, she would end up, like, almost getting murdered. It's so painfully, like, brutal by evil doctors and whatever the fuck, you know? And in Beyond Two Souls, you had Ellen Page almost getting fucking raped in one scene, you know? It's like...
Multiple times, actually.
Multiple times, yeah. It happens so much in his games for some reason. He's a weird writer.
Yeah. I remember in the interview. You guys should check it out if you get a chance. I think it's on Eurogamer. He talks about, like basically why can't we put stuff like this in video games? It's it's an interesting point. I can understand why some people would be upset in terms of it still playing on tropes that may be deemed harmful. As in, of the poor woman, the victim being the woman and whatnot, and it's kind of old, it's nothing new. So I kind of get why it would have annoyed some people, especially people who aren't really familiar with David Cage's games. But yeah, I can see a counter argument as well. Like, I think people have valid points on both sides. Sorry.
The problem with David Cage, though, is that it seems like he puts it in more for shock value and like it's poorly written. It feels so tacked on when it comes from him in particular. I have no issues with that either. It's like, or at least normally, because it's like it's a terrible thing happening, but I mean, terrible shit happens in real life. But
that's another point.
It feels to be tacked on.
Like that is tacked on. Yeah, absolutely. That's something a critique I read about that and of him. That these things feel like they are in there for shock value, and they're not in there as part of some coherent story that would kind of just make more sense in what's happening. Like it's just they're like, oh, a woman's being beaten up. Oh, that child can die, and it's just there.
And both Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls have these kinds of scenes But the problem is they never like add to the character themselves. Like it's never like a central point of it. It's never like ever like talked about. Barely ever talked about after it happens. It's just something that they put in it because shock value. Because that makes it mature and edgy.
Yeah.
And
Heavy Rain did that, where it's like, I almost got killed multiple times. Well, this added nothing to the next scene because I'm okay now, you know. Or in that other scene where you were forced to strip,
yeah,
he would shoot you. Yeah, it's like things like that. It felt very tacked.
That's messed
on,
up.
but- yeah. It felt very tacked on.
Then it's like it never happened.
Anyways, let's move on from this. It's very derailing. Paris Games Week. Has anyone else seen stuff from Paris Games Week that they think are very interesting?
The most interesting thing in that list is Shadow of the Colossus.
I was looking at
Fuck yes.
Now, that is the best game I've played ever, probably.
I like the game a lot, but I feel like this remake's gonna be better because the problem I had with the original was that it felt very brown.
That's kind of true, yeah.
Yeah, like they should add a lot more colors in it because it's a beautiful game.
Yeah, some people
But
were
they are
angry
in the
by the
desert.
fact that they changed that. I, for one, am like the entire I'm opposite on the matter. I'm just like no. This game needs a bit more color.
Yeah, I'm for it, but yeah, I still understand the color scheme for the beginning because they are in the desert. It's all about life and death.
Yeah, there's not much you can do in a desert with colors, I guess.
No,
Guys, I have a confession to make.
Yes.
Yes.
I've never played Shadow.
I hate you.
Heretic!
Can someone explain? I'm not doubting it doesn't deserve to be a big deal, but can someone explain why it's such a big deal to so many people?
It's the boss fights. They're iconic as hell.
It's a really good game. Like it has a big impact. But I don't know like why it would be that big like it became, but it's a really good game. I really liked it. Like the fights with the bosses, they're like they made it in their own way.
Well, here's the thing.
really
I
like
heard Dragon's Dogma, a game which I really liked. I don't know if any of you guys played it.
Yeah.
They took their boss battle, like the inspiration from the boss battles, from games like Shadow of the Colossus. I heard in the term the way you could climb up on the enemy and attack different parts of their body and whatnot. Is that the case in Shadow of the Colossus?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot of the bosses involves a big puzzle for you to get to the places you need to get to as well.
Okay. I'm looking forward to checking it out and being part of the hype.
Yeah.
It's a good game though. It really
Yeah,
is.
I really like that game.
Going back to it now though, it's a bit, it's lacking. That's the criticism I have against it, and it looks way too brown.
Yeah, because if I think back to it, like it looks amazing. I started it like a couple of months ago. I was like, is this really the game I played? Like, because like if you think back to your childhood game, if you play like a Game Boy game, you'll feel like the graphics were amazing.
Yeah.
But like, it's not.
No, it's really not. Not after the fact when you go back to it 15 years later. It's like, this looks like dog shit.
Yeah, definitely. But
Where's the HD?
That's basically how it is with old games. Like you
I
pay
watched
up a
very tiny
picture.
bits of this conference though, so I might have to check up on the trailers later. So I got nothing more to add.
Same
I'm
here.
gonna check out some of these trailers.
Spider-Man. I think I'm fully in to that game.
Yeah,
Purely because I think if I am correct in saying this, Yuri Lowenthal is voicing Spider-Man in this,
That's yeah.
and I'm a Naruto fan,
yes.
and he voices Sasuke in the English dub, so I'm in. I'll play just for Yuri Lowenthal.
That he also voices Yosuke in Persona 4.
Oh yes, he was in Persona 4. I totally thought he's in a bunch of stuff, man. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I can't keep up, but I really like Yuri Lowenthal.
The
So
problem I have with him is that he's so like his voice is a bit distinct, and to me he's typecast as Yosuke. So he can never voice like really basic roles. Like he voiced some civilians in Hitman 2016.
he also did in Dragon Age Origins.
Yeah, but the problem with him doing that is his voice is so distinct that when I hear the civilians talking, I'm like, one of these people is Yuri Lowenthal.
But isn't that so cool though? Like if I've only done a little bit of amateur voice acting, but if someone would recognize my voice in any of my roles, be like, that's Jay Waddy, I'd be like, I would love that. That's like a selling point.
Yeah.
At that point, and yeah, but I know what you're saying. Like it can sometimes take you out of the game. Like, oh, that's Yuri Lowenthal. Oh,
No, I find it hilarious at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care that it takes me out of the game. I find it hilarious.
Yeah.
Come on, it's a game where you can kill people with like a silly baseball bat dressed up as a clown. Come on.
I need to go back and play Persona 4 now on my Vita. I still haven't finished Persona 5 yet. Such a good game.
I beat all of them.
Such a good game.
What have you, Martin? I would never have guessed.
It's a good game. Anyways, yes, that's part of the reason I'm curious to check out that game as well. That and Spider-Man
Yeah, it's Spider-Man.
his powers are not that interesting to me, but I like his personality.
It's also developed by Treyarch, and Treyarch have got a really good track record for good development of games. So
What are you doing? What?
Treyarch. That sounds familiar. Do you mind listing off a couple of the games off the top of your head, if you know any, that they've done?
the one that I play all the time is the Black Ops series from Call of Duty.
Yeah.
That's where I know
They
them
developed
from, right,
those.
yeah.
Treyarch? Yeah, it's actually Insomniac. It's just, I believe Treyarch has a tiny hand in it. It might have been that. Because it's actually
Right.
Insomniac.
I think they've got I think it's a bit bigger than a tiny hand for Treyarch, because Treyarch have been going on about it
Yeah, they've been going on
more than
about
just a
it.
tiny bit.
It'd be interesting to find out to what extent, because it's like Fallout 4, you had the Doom devs helping out with the gunplay in that game, and in Overwatch you had the Call of Duty devs helping out, at least for the console port of the gunplay. So it'll be interesting to find out how much Treyarch has contributed to Spider-Man.
Same with Destiny. You had the guys do the PC version of Infinite Warfare do Destiny on PC.
Right.
What did you say? Insomniac was on the Spider-Man game?
Yeah.
That's actually cool. They made Ratchet and Clank, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I love these games.
But did they do the new Ratchet and Clank?
I think they did all of them, right?
All of them.
I need to try that new Ratchet and Clank. It's not new now, but it looks so cool.
Yeah, I always loved them. They're so
It's a
fun.
really good game, but don't watch the movie based off it because it'll ruin everything.
Yeah,
I've
that's
heard it's the
shit.
same thing, pretty much.
The movie is shit.
I think I saw Angry Joe talk about it, and he was like, "It's just a game or something, like with more extra bits or something."
It's the game, but told in a movie form.
Yeah.
So it's
Also, I don't think there's the original voice actors for the movie, which kind of destroyed it for me. At least in the German version, it's not.
yeah.
Oh, that sucks. I hate it when they do.
Yeah, that completely destroyed the movie for me.
That sucks.
It's a good game though, from what I've heard. At least in terms of the game part, you know.
Sure.
Anyways, let's move on from that. Let's have Relogs read next.
God damn it.
Oh wait, no, that's me. That's me.
You son of a bitch.
That's me.
Finally shifted.
Yes. Considering how there have been so many new video game releases between October and November 2017, like every time during this season, you know, every year, you know, but whatever. Have you played any new releases currently? If so, what are your impressions, if you have any? Examples of the Wolfenstein 2, Evil Within 2, Super Mario Odyssey, Horizon, The Frozen Wilds, COD World War 2, Assassin's Creed Origins, etc. And I begin by saying this: I've still yet to play Wolfenstein 2. I'm getting it in 4 hours because that's when I get my welfare shake. And I have played Evil Within 2, and in terms of Odyssey, I'm getting a Switch sent in the mail in 3 days or something along those lines, and I've also played COD World War 2. So
Nice.
they're all. COD is fun, but it's COD, so that's why.
But it's
fun.
it's different now. It's weird. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Like, it seems to have borrowed from Destiny a bit. New multiplayer.
I'm okay with that.
It's got elements of everything. It's got the hub world of Destiny, where you've got like an army camp where one area you can go train rifle stuff, you can get contracts and daily challenges from another person and go do fun stuff in there. Then you've got the game modes. You've got 8 of them are standard Call of Duty game modes, but the other one, or the newest game mode, is basically the exact same as Battlefield 1's game mode with the pushback system.
Yeah.
It's like they've completely revamped, Sledgehammer have completely revamped Call of Duty to have something completely different. It's almost not recognizable other than the fact the gameplay is really short, which is Call of Duty's standard.
No, here's the problem. Like they almost got it right. They almost made things different, right? There's only one problem: the gunplay and how the game actually plays. In terms of gameplay, it's still Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's true.
It's still COD. You still
But what's
move
the
the same
single
way.
player
You still
like?
shoot the same way. I've actually
Quite a
not
few
played the
people
single player. I've only played a shitload of multiplayer, so I'll get back to that soon.
I'm that one dude who will play single player more than multiplayer if I have a COD game.
I actually also like to do that, I have to say.
We are now best friends.
Yay!
With
I've also played through the Evil Fiend 2 1.5 times. That game's great.
I've heard it's a lot better than Evil Within 1.
It is. It fixes problems with the first one, and it adds on to like its own things. Like it has a better. It has a better identity than the previous one. Like how the previous one just had like a shit tons of gore. This one has more like. First part has more like artistic murder vibe, like kind of like Hannibal, the Netflix series, While the next part of that game has more like a cultist vibe. So.
Do you need?
Yeah, exactly. It's not murder; it's art.
Do you need to play the first one to understand the second one?
No.
Okay, then that goes under my Christmas wish list.
Very tiny things you have to understand, but you can fit the pieces together quite well.
Okay, that's cool.
It's a great game overall. If you like games like RE4, you'll love this game. It's really good.
Cool.
Yeah, I finished in about 16 hours on highest difficulty, hard as fuck. Kicked my ass. I don't care. It was fun.
Nice.
Yeah. I liked it a lot.
Any of you played Destiny then, since it came out?
I have.
Yeah.
I played on PC since it came.
Since it came out.
Yeah, since it came out on PC.
Because that's the first thing that I always find with Destiny is a bit crap. It just loses my attention so quickly.
Yeah, to an extent, I've not played it for a week now. It's a fun game, but I rarely find enough people to run stuff with now because I'm at that peak.
It's unpopular, that's why.
Even I think Relox is ahead of me now because he did a raid. I still yet to do the raid. I can't find 6 people to do it.
We did it with 4 people though.
Huh?
We 4-man the raid.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yeah. Invite me next time, huh? Yeah.
Well, dude.
Sweet.
All right, that feels like the end of this topic.
Yeah.
Nah, so not anyone else has played anything?
Nah.
Sorry.
Move on to the next one then.
Alright, sweet.
Shadow of War's final act is only made available after hours of grinding or buying loot boxes to obtain it earlier. I don't like this thing, like buying the end. But like I can understand it's a single player game mostly. But I do understand it, like some people don't have the time to grind it through to get to the end and then they buy it. Like I can understand it, but still if you're playing a game and you like it that much that you want to buy something for it, you should like it enough to grind the hours to get the end.
There needs to be like a middle path, right? Like, yeah, some people don't have a lot of time, so if they want to pay to skip, I think it'd be wrong to say you can't do that. At the same time, I don't know, like don't make the grind unnecessarily long, so people are more likely to buy the boxes.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that. That's really the problem. I mean, I cannot really say anything against shortcuts for people who don't have time, but if you design your game deliberately to make it grindy and to encourage people to buy this stuff, that's kind of stupid in my opinion.
Yeah. Also, from going off against what Relogs was saying here, it's not that to get to the end it's not a matter of like you don't have enough time or anything. It's the fact that they tack on, like it's very tacked on grinding, you know, to actually be able to do the ending, because it's gonna kick your ass otherwise. That's the thing with Shadow of War.
Yeah, it's not that the loot box system is bad, it's that the game is designed badly. In that case, if they just would have designed it in a way that you could say, yeah, that's good to do.
It's very designed to be grindy to begin with, so that you will buy loot boxes.
Yeah,
like, a little bit like that, because it's very tacked on grinding at the same time.
Yeah, but that's just really bad game design for me. From a business standpoint, that might be good design. From just a gamer standpoint, that's just lazy.
Yeah, definitely is.
I really like the first game though, but I refuse to touch this one because it has loot boxes. So,
Same.
The ending in the first one, without getting into spoilers, was so disappointing. Up until that point, I enjoyed a lot of the game.
Yeah, that's actually true.
The ending was so disappointing, and obviously I haven't played Shadow of War 2. I don't know what it's or Shadow of War. I don't know what the endings are. I hope it's not the same when I eventually do.
From what I understand, like in Shadow of War 2, they make new rings or something somehow. But I'm like, okay. So, wait, there are not even more rings. How? Oh, great. So we've now just completely gone after the J.R.R. Tolkien lore rails. We're just now in our own completely different universe. This is now completely separate from the actual Lord of the Rings lore.
I'm okay with that though. If they're gonna fuck with their own thing, make an alternate version, that's fine.
Yeah, I also don't.
They can do that. That's fine. It's not the original thing. It's fine, you know. But I don't know though. Just from a sheer like, as someone that really gets invested in games, that really likes following story and whatnot, I find those games very lacking. When it comes to that part,
Yeah.
And yeah, I just have no desire to play Shadow of War. I have so many games in my backlog that it's not.
Yeah, also
it doesn't click for me.
At the moment, I'm just refusing to buy it. I have so many games over the last few years that I just had to say I will not buy this, just because of almost as a political statement, so to speak. Because I do not want to support these practices. I just cannot buy these games. It just
good for you. That's how change happens, right? When people vote for their wallet.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't judge people who buy the games nonetheless, but it's just for me that I cannot put that down with my conscience, really.
Yeah, that's fair enough, dude.
Maybe I'll ask my friend to get it, and I'll sit next to him and just watch him play it. That'll work too.
I really have to say the Nemesis system in that game is phenomenal. I had such a great time with the first one. There were a few orc bosses that would kick my ass all game long, and that day when you kill them, oh, that feels great, man.
I have over 50 hours in that game. I liked it a lot. It's just I cannot play this one. I have no desire to. They killed it off entirely.
Dude,
Because...
the Nemesis. I've heard the Nemesis system is even better than the first one in this game. And the stories I've read, like I read this one article of this person who said they had to stop playing the game because they had. I think, long story short, they had grown so attached to some of the orcs in their army that there was this one orc that just over and over kept saying, like, kill me, kill me, kill me, like, I want to die. And they felt so bad that, like, I can't, this is slavery, I can't play this game anymore. And they stopped playing. I'm like, if a game makes you feel that way, to me, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's really cool. Like, I remember from the first one I played, which I think was the first PS4 game I played. It's funny because when you're talking about, like, oh yeah, the ending, this and that, I'm like, oh, I barely remember the ending. What I do remember is this one crossbow orc boss that would keep killing me and killing me and killing me and would keep getting stronger to the point where I was like, I can't beat you anymore. And like all the elaborate strategies I'd had to like work out to like get close to him, make him weaker. Like that I remember.
Yeah. The one thing that pisses me off the most is that I think what made me so uninterested in the game is I was on Steam the day it got the game was put on Steam up for pre-order, and I checked the page, and the very first thing I see is that there's like 4 screenshots for the game, nothing else, right? And I scroll down the page, and it says pre-order gold edition, $100, and there's no indication to what actually is in the gold edition or anything, but they just decided, hey, you can pre-order something that we have no info on what it actually is. I was like, no, fuck this game, I'm done.
Yeah, that's another trend that can go fuck itself, really.
Yeah, I hate it when they do that, when they make, this is the special edition for $10 extra, and I'm like, okay, what's in the special edition? And you're like, you have to, and they don't even show what's in the special edition. I'm like, well, why would I buy the special edition if I don't even know what the fuck I'm buying?
Yeah.
So fucking stupid.
Either way, I might give it a shot down the line, but I'm waiting till the fucking, if they're gonna release a game like that, but already have planned, like, long before the game's even released, to have a gold edition with season pass and whatnot. If I'm gonna play it, I'm just gonna wait till their Game of the Year definitive edition, whatever comes out,
Yeah.
Just wait till a Steam sale or something, or a PlayStation Xbox sale.
Yeah, or a complete edition or whatever, Anyways, let's move on. Let's have Mr. Retro Sheep read the next one. Unless Renegade wants to unmute himself.
Ooh, not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
So we have, oh god, let me see if we can find it. Newly independent developer IO Interactive loses rights to Kanan Lynch and Mini Ninjas, but keeps the rights to Hitman along with Freedom Fighters. A Hitman sequel was greenlit for 2018.
Here's the thing with Kanan Lynch. Kanan Lynch was dog shit. The second game was dog shit, and the first game, in terms of gameplay, was really dog shit. But it had good moments in terms of character development. So, I mean, them losing it, it's not much. I mean, they could have improved on Kanan Lynch, but, game wasn't that very good to begin with. And Mini Ninjas was pretty shit. So, as long as you keep Hitman, it's fine, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like a new Hitman game. The last one, even though it was the whole episodic thing was, I don't know if that was the best way to do that, but it was certainly interesting in the way that they did that, and the way that they did like the super hard timed assassinations, which kind of was interesting. Also, it kind of bummed me out, seeing as was hearing about all the really cool assassinations that I'll never be able to play because I didn't buy it from day one. But I'm actually kind of interested if they'll make a new Freedom Fighters game.
I have not played Freedom Fighters. I cannot.
Yeah,
say.
nor have I.
Yeah.
Like,
I really fucking love Hitman though. I have Hitman Blood Money is my most played game ever. I have 2,000 hours in it.
Oh my god.
Jesus, man.
See,
I know
when I-
every nook and cranny, every trick, everything in that game. I cannot play it anymore because I have done everything there is to do in that game.
See, when I heard they were gonna do Hitman in episodes, I was like, no, I do not like this idea of a AAA franchise doing games in episodes, and I still feel that way. Like, God help the Final Fantasy VII remake team, because I think they're going to do episodically as well. But I must say, after having played, because you can get it's not episode 1, it's like a tutorial thing you could download free on PSN, and I'm assuming it's free on Xbox and PC as well. After having played it, I'm like, this actually might work for Hitman, not for Final Fantasy. But for Hitman.
especially
For
with all
Hitman, it worked.
the different challenges and optional things you can do. Like you can spend at least 10 to 12 to 15 hours on the first level alone. So like you are getting a lot for what you're paying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can check my game time on the game right now because I still play it on and off every week. Right now, I've owned it for about. I've owned all the content as of last year, late last year, and I have about 80 hours in that game now. And I've done a lot of shit so far, and I've still yet to touch the surface of that game. So, considering I had 2,000 in Blood Money, and they're still adding free content to season pass owners or whatever for the game, there's still so much stuff for me to do that this might take 2,000 hours as well. You know,
That's actually interesting because I was also very skeptical of the episodic approach, but hey, if they pulled it off, that's nice actually.
the one thing.
I think it works. It really worked for Hitman, I must say.
So yeah, there's actually people who can pull this off, but yeah, I agree with Final Fantasy might not.
While there's only 6 levels, 7 including the training one, there's still the levels are huge. There's a lot of stuff you can do in them, and I think the most time I spent on one level was the very first one, the one with the fashion show, and I think I spent on 30 hours in that one alone.
That's crazy.
That's because most of the Hitman games, and especially this game, really incentivize replaying. Like, okay, even if you even if you succeed, okay, that's great. Let's do let's do the level again, but let's try and kill the target completely different now. Let's see if I can do this. And let's see if I can do that. And, oh, what's that hidden thing? Oh, let's try and do that. And that game really incentivizes you to keep trying different ways and to keep trying finding creative ways to kill your target. And it's really good.
I don't even think it's that really good of a game, you know. It's not even on my favorites. It's just I have so much fun doing everything that it just keeps my attention for so long because there's so much stuff to do, you know? You know, it's a game that keeps my attention, but it's still not my favorite. It's weird.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
Also, they're releasing more content still, so that's fun.
So IO are fully independent now, right? They're not aligned with any studio now.
Yes.
That was cool of Square Enix to let them keep the Hitman IP. I rate them for that because they didn't have to do that.
Yeah, they went out of their
shelved it.
Yeah, they went
EA.
out of the way to be like, hey, we'll make sure you keep it.
Yeah, no, I
They're
respect
still
them for that.
catching onto it after they got dropped, so it's really good.
Nice.
Please don't get bought out by EA.
Oh, fuck you for putting that image in my head.
Here's the thing, like, what was that game? I think Project Cars or something, right? I think that was published by EA. I think that's the game I'm thinking of. And I remember reading the story of the guy who owns the company saying they made the game, and then EA wanted to buy them. They said no, so then EA started hiring their staff.
Yeah.
And the guy so they basically tried to destroy the company.
Yeah, they were out to get the company because they had some beef or whatever.
Yeah,
So-
because he wouldn't sell. Because it wouldn't sell, and then the guy had to remortgage his house just to get enough money to bring back the devs who left. And
A lot of devs for Project Cars. I think there were ex-devs from Black Box who made the later Need for Speed games, I think. And as a result, they made Project Cars, and that was also an incentive for EA to go after them as well,
Yeah.
because they were ex-devs that they shut down.
That whole thing sounds like the beginning of a really crappy A-Team episode.
Yeah.
EA. Crappy A-Team episode of Game Days.
Awesome. All right, are we done with this? Do we go to the next one?
Yeah, let's go to the next one.
All right, that's me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The best one, yes, indeed. Metal Gear Survive has confirmed DRM. It will require an internet connection, even playing offline. And god damn it, man. What?
It's funny that it's like right next to the Hitman question, because it goes back to Hitman as well. It's the one downside to this game as well, besides the episodic stuff. It's that the new Hitman also has internet connection required to access everything online. It has an offline mode, but you can't access the stuff you unlock if you're offline. It's very...
That sucks.
Yeah, it sucks so much. It sucks because it's such a great game. It really does.
It's DRM has always been the cancer of video games. I'm sorry, but that's just fucking bullshit.
Online DRM is so bad to the point of that first of all, fuck you, Ren. Second of all, it's part of the reason I still collect physical games, because I'm afraid that one of these days the servers are gonna go down and I can't go back to my older games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember back in the days where a lot of games had DRM, and oftentimes people would not be able to play the games for some fucking reason, either because of the operating system, or sometimes it was just a weird kind of driver they had installed, or a weird software they had installed that would conflict with DRM. It was just a hassle back then. And I hope to God that these things would die out and never come back again, but yeah. Apparently not.
CD Projekt Red has this thing where if you bought The Witcher 3 physically, you can actually play it without even entering a code.
Oh, that's nice.
But Witcher 3 also, didn't they have the thing where if you got a cracked version, then, was it Yennefer or something? Her face becomes like an old woman?
Yeah.
Or something like that, which I thought was hilarious.
That's funny though, but at the same time, you could pass along the... You could pass along the copy of The Witcher 3 if you had it physically. You could just pass on that shit to anyone, and they could just install it and play it offline. And it was so easy because it did not have DRM on it. If you wanted to play with DLC or patches, you had to connect it online. But the base game you can play offline, so that's something I really liked.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah. It's something, you know.
You know, I kind of understand the thingy with you cannot play offline, because they want to connect the offline play, what you achieve there, into online, and so they want to make sure that you cannot really cheat in offline game and that everything is connected. But still, it's such a cutout that you cannot just go offline and play your own little game. I don't know.
It's a single player game. It's your own choice to cheat, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you can totally make it. If somebody cheats offline, then yeah, just don't let them online with that account. I mean, you could make several accounts, an offline and an online account. It would be so easy, right? I mean, there's a lot of ways to handle this, and how they handled it right now, that's just not the way I would do it.
I think it's funny how we were talking about how bad EA are, and then Konami comes up, because they're like that constant bad. Like, I'm not saying they've ever hit EA levels of bad, but they're like that constant bad.
I think they fucked up royally because they went out of their way to fucking nuke all their reputation, because they thought they were not gonna be in this industry for long. And then their sales charts comes out, and their gaming division went up so hard because of MGS5 that they were like, shit, we kind of fucked up a potential really good market here.
Yep.
You know?
But here's the thing: they don't need to make video games, and that's okay. Like they would be just fine doing the Pro Evo series if they wanted to. Like I don't know. Like since Kojima left, I don't care for Metal Gear anymore. To be honest,
I don't care for any Konami IP because if every Konami IP at this point that people still want Silent Hill, there's gonna be better horror games coming out soon, you know, or has been, you know. We really don't need to stick to Silent Hill anymore. Castlevania, a lot of people are making, you know, like Bloodstained is being developed and stuff. There's a lot of old school Castlevania games that are actually out on the market already, you know. So we really don't need Castlevania in particular. And Metal Gear, I mean, with Kojima gone, there's no really reason we want a Metal Gear that's not with Kojima, you know? We'd rather see him make something else.
They got the Castlevania pachinko machines. They don't need to make another Castlevania game ever again.
Yeah,
they don't need to make another Metal Gear game ever again.
Yeah, in my
pachinko machines.
Yeah, in my opinion, it's just like Konami could just fuck off in terms of gaming. They're not needed anymore. You know,
I want them to carry on making PES just so FIFA doesn't have a monopoly. And plus, there was a time frame where I really liked PES more than FIFA. But just so FIFA doesn't have a monopoly, I would like them to keep making PES games. But otherwise, I don't really give a crap personally.
I like certain things in PES more, I'll be honest. But I'm not even a football guy to begin with, so.
Same.
I don't know though. In terms of DRM, yeah, it's kind of shit, but I mean, the game doesn't look that appealing to begin with. So,
yeah, that's another problem.
Yeah. All right.
I like how we how we talk more about the DRM Metal Gear, actual Metal Gear Survive.
Who read the last question?
Let's see. Let me.
Yeah. Let's have Doper read number 8.
All right. The Game Awards reveals Game of the Year 2017 lineup. It's Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, Persona 5, and Horizon Zero Dawn.
All right, 4 of these I understand. One of them I don't, because PUBG is not finished.
Yeah, holy shit! How could you put that up there? Seriously.
Even PUBG are like, even the PUBG dev, or one of the devs was like, or the CEO who was like, there are better games than PUBG out this year.
Yeah, and for all we know, next year this game could crash and burn and be buried and never be released. For all we know. And what?
As much as I fucking love Persona 5, and it's like my favorite game this year. You know, it's like it's pretty tied in with something like Zelda or even Horizon for that matter, because I mean, that's the English version. The game technically came out last year, you know, but but it was localized to the West this year. So I mean, I don't know, but then again, that is the one game I would vote for. But I could see that as a counter argument, you know.
But still, Persona 5 has a much bigger spot in there than PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
Yeah, what is PUBG doing there?
Like, honestly, I can accept they bringing in like an like early access game, but not not PlayerUnknown's. It's such a broken game. Like, don't think about. I
Yeah.
love the game. It's a great game, but it's a broken game. It's nowhere near
It's
finished.
not finished, you know. You can still have fun with the game, but it's.
Yeah, but I mean, still, like an unfinished game could still be pretty much finished. But PlayerUnknown is so far away from being finished that it's stupid.
Yeah, also,
As someone that also likes the game, I can agree with this. You know.
yeah, also, it's, for me, that sends a horrible message to game devs. It's like, yeah, you can just have an early access game that is not even finished and you're gonna get Game of the Year. So, what? How?
Yeah, I'll hope with my heart and soul that this will not win. Please do not vote for this.
Yeah, I mean, the early access craze on Steam is overwhelming right now, so please no.
So many good games this year that not even get nominated.
Yeah.
Where's Nier Automata? You know.
Yeah, that is fucked up.
Even
There,
localist
Autos could
games.
have that. Six should definitely have their own spot.
Even localist
Or,
games
yeah,
like
Neo.
Yakuza.
That's
Or even games that I don't personally like that much, you know, as much like RE7 and stuff. You know, even that would have a better spot than PUBG in there.
Absolutely.
yeah.
I mean, last time, I don't know. I cannot see how this should be up there. It's not finished. Don't put it up there. And if it wins, if it should win, it should be no more early access. They should revoke that early access. They should just release it as it is and see how it goes. Holy hell.
Yeah. Please don't fucking release the game.
See? That would be disastrous. So why consider it a finished game and put it up as Game of the Year?
Yeah, that's really retarded. They should. I could definitely agree with them adding it to the list once the game is completed.
Yes.
Because it is a good game. It's well no, I shouldn't say it's well executed. Like, it's really fun good, yet it ain't well executed. But they could execute it really well still.
Yeah, I mean, Renegade just said in the chat there should be an own category for early access game. Then I would be totally fine with that.
I'd say still right there, no. Why the fuck should you have a category for early access? Like, it's not a finished game. Like, you shouldn't be able to rate a game for the Game of the Year when it's not complete.
It would be like
in
best,
any way
best
at
game
all.
that's in development. I mean,
Yeah.
I can see that over putting it on
Yeah,
game.
definitely.
Best
But I still
promise
say
of
you
a
shouldn't
great
have it at
game.
all. An
Yeah.
early access game should never be able to be awarded for the Game of the Year, even if it's like under development or anything.
The fact that it's even nominated is screams disgusting to me. You know.
Yeah, that's weird. It's super weird.
Yeah. God damn it, Jeff Keighley.
Yeah. But at least I am happy that 4 out of 5 of these candidates are good, decent single-player games.
They're fucking great
True.
games.
True.
Yeah, like single-player games. So
I've said this repeatedly in podcasts this year, but this year has had some of the greatest games that we've had in a long ass time, and
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I can't even keep up with it all. We've gotten so many good games. I mean, I'm so burnt out by this year, you know.
True.
Yeah.
Quick, which one would you vote for, guys? If you had to vote right now.
Persona 5.
Horizon.
Horizon as well.
yeah, I'm gonna go for Horizon.
Yeah,
That's
same.
actually
Probably would also go for that.
It's probably the one that's gonna win.
I hope so.
I don't so, yeah.
It is, the PlayerUnknown has such a high chance of winning this shit just because of the popularity of that game.
Yeah.
All the big names streamer is only playing that game, pretty much. The biggest names in streaming, they're playing PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. The biggest names in YouTube are playing PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
Yeah, and who's gonna vote for?
Every single
The majority is
everyone's that watching those streamers, everyone's that hit the big fucking like player count they have in PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, they're all gonna vote for that game.
Absolutely, yeah.
Fucking retarded.
Yeah, this screams disgusting to me.
Yeah.
It really does.
In my opinion, this pretty much says Game of the Year means nothing anymore.
It really means nothing, especially from Jeff Keighley's bullshit awards.
Oh,
In
yeah.
my opinion, I mean, anyone can make an awards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should do one.
Oh yeah. Ren, we should like edit the 1.5 hour thing where we have the group vote for World's Game of the Year, and we'll just make our own awards. We can do that. So that's.
Award for most broken game.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you have a Game of the Year podcast planned, Ren, but still, I mean, you could just edit an awards. That would be funny as shit. But it's just a thought. Anyways, let's move on. I think we've chat on PUBG much, you know.
Yeah.
So, Yay, are you here? Oh, Yay's muted. All right, I'll go then. Number 9. Xbox One X debuts with just 1,344 units sold in Japan. Do you think Microsoft should just give up with the Japanese market or keep trying? Give up.
Give up.
Just give it. Give up.
That's crazy. When I read that question at first, I thought there was a K missing at the end of that number or something, or a 0 missing, because that was unreal. That number, that was so low. Holy hell.
Yeah. That is such a. Although, to be honest, it's a niche market to begin with when it comes to Japan and Xbox. But I mean, 1,344. Why do you even bother releasing the console in that region at all? It's
Probably
not
costs more in
relevant
advertisement.
But by that point, if they wanted it, they should just have imported it. You know.
Yeah.
By that point, it's like I'm sorry if that's cold, but it's not a profitable market. It's really not. Besides, there's no games there that the average consumer over there would enjoy. That's on the Xbox One, because all the games that are marketed towards them is on PlayStation, because you know PlayStation is much Eastern, you know. I don't know. It's just give up with this market. It's not profitable. Not Asia entirely, but I mean, if not, make an effort. You know.
Yeah. At the moment, it's just a losing battle they're fighting right there.
Yeah. Market your damn console for once, you know. Have it put on actual TV or whatever. I think very few people actually knows what the Xbox is over there, you know. I don't think it's in the know even. It's like the Ouya. What the fuck's an Ouya? And then that console faded away, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I have to say. Anyone else have anything?
Nah, I think it's pretty much clear.
No. Yeah. Just. Like you said, I just cannot believe that number does not have a K on it. It's just Earth. Do you even justify numbers like that in the first place? But to be honest, Xbox, coming from a PS4 player.
All right, $600 times 1,344. You know, in terms of sales, that's let's see here. Wow, that's less than $1 million. Weird on that. Anyways, reload. So you're gonna read the last topic, or are you gonna bail because yeah, you're a kid.
Yeah, I actually gotta leave, sadly.
Yeah, it's all right, man.
Alright.
Yeah.
Cool.
Maybe things will go a little bit faster from this point onwards, because this has been our last podcast.
We're almost
It's
done.
all right. I wouldn't.
We've almost clocked at 2 hours, and we still have almost half the dock left.
Yeah, I was just love that to be to stay around, but yeah, my kid woke up and he's sick, so I gotta leave.
All right.
Cool,
It's all
man.
good, man. You have a life.
Yeah, I do.
Unlike us, you have life.
I'm sorry.
Take care, man. Take care, man.
Yeah, you
Just-
too, guys.
Yeah, it's good having you around.
Bye, see you next time.
See ya.
Take care, man.
Goodbye.
Yeah, that was Relogs. You can find them at YouTube and Twitter under Relogs Gaming. So, yeah.
All right.
Forgot to ask him to plug his shit, but there you go. I did it for him. So, Jay, since you're back, do you want to read the next topic, then? Number 10?
Number 10, yeah, sure. So, PlayStation Experience 2017 rumors have surfaced on Reddit. Leaker has been factual about his reveal with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles being in Injustice 2. What do you think on the rumors? And the rumors are that include Devil May Cry 5 will be a thing with Dante, Virgil, and Nero as the leads. Soul Calibur 6 being a thing that will be a multi-platform release. Resident Evil 2 getting a remake with a third-person camera shift. Nintendo releasing a new Animal Crossing, and Street Fighter 5 will have its Season 3 characters revealed at PSX as well.
Didn't Resident Evil 2 wasn't there a leak about that having like a cutscene or whatever? I feel like that. I feel like that might be true actually. As for Devil May Cry 5, I mean that's literally Half-Life 3 at this point because people speculate it's gonna be on every fucking conference, yet it's not. So I mean I'm unsure about that.
Yeah.
So Calibur 6, maybe, and Street Fighter 5 definitely a possibility, and Nintendo releasing new things. Well, why would they do it on PSX?
Yeah.
Is Animal Crossing even still popular? It's fucking ancient.
No, it's a
is.
PlayStation Experience 2017. What is Nintendo doing there? Nah, get out. It's like nah, they're gonna do a direct if they're gonna announce that shit.
Maybe that was what was meant, that on that day or during that time Nintendo will do a direct and announce a new Animal Crossing game, because otherwise it doesn't make sense it being there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're gonna do a Nintendo Direct for that shit. They're not gonna. Although with that said, PSX is gonna be interesting this year. I'm already signed up to watch that shit on reaction stream with Mr. Ren here, so that'll be interesting.
Well, I have to say, Devil May Cry 5 and Soul Calibur would be super interesting, but yeah. I mean, we have to see how they come along, if they come along, but these two things I would be super excited for.
Soul Calibur is great.
Oh, yeah.
5 was not that good.
Yeah, they need to bring it back. I think 2 and 3 were my favorite ones, and if they make something along those lines, then I'd be super happy.
2 was fun. It had Heihachi in it, which was not that
Yes!
at all. Yet he still was fucking great in that game.
Yeah, it was super cool.
I don't know what's going on in that universe anymore. I played Soul Blade, which is obviously Soul Calibur before it was Soul Calibur, and then back on the PS1 days, and then I don't know what happened after that.
Yeah, it's super crazy stories. It doesn't make any sense. It's fun.
It's a good series, but I like that they use elements of our world and shit, you know.
Yeah.
Like some ancient mythology and shit, you know, that we've written down in our past, like how that connects to the game.
Yeah, that's fun. Also, the Devil May Cry thing, I thought they didn't want to go back to Dante. I thought they killed him off. Wasn't that the
Whoa, spoilers!
thing? I mean, come on. That was the whole thing about the DMC thing, that they didn't want to try again and didn't want to have Dante again,
but
right?
then they had so much backlash with the DMC reboot. That
I liked what I played of that reboot.
Yeah. Some people do like that game. I personally find it okay, but at the same time, a lot of people just did not find it good in comparison to the original. You know, but I feel like
not my Dante.
Yeah.
exactly. So I feel like Capcom's in a position that if they're actually going to redo Devil May Cry, they have to go back to the original.
I find it interesting that even they consider even Nero more interesting than their other character.
And I agree with this.
Yeah.
I agree with this. If they're gonna, if they're gonna fucking make the game or whatever, like have it be the original. It's like
I'd be fine with. Was it Team Ninja did the Devil May Cry reboot?
Ninja
right?
Theory.
Ninja Theory, sorry. And yeah, so I don't know. I personally would be fine with them carrying on with that timeline and those characters. But then I never really played. I don't think I played Devil May Cry games before that, so I didn't care about like the backlash didn't affect me.
Yeah,
Like,
you should really play them though. They're really good games.
Oh,
First
yeah.
one is a bit clunky, but and second one is very weird. But
3 and 4 are great.
3 and 4 are the ones that really shine in that series.
Yeah.
That series has had a weird how should you put it, like quality gap, or how the first one's okay or like good, but entirely different. And then second one was a bit dog shit in terms of gameplay. Third one was really good. Fourth one was really good, and then we never got 5, and then reboot happened.
Yeah.
It has some it has some really gaps in quality in the series.
It's weird as hell, yeah.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. Street Fighter 5 though. I mean, I want to get it now that it actually looks finished. I don't know. That's all I'm saying on it.
I've only played it once. I played at the Eurogamer Expo a couple months ago, and they had a booth there. It's a lot of fun, but
It is.
I've never been big into Street Fighter. I'm like a story person, so like even though I'm sure Street Fighter has probably the best fighting mechanics, like I prefer Mortal Kombat and even Tekken over Street Fighter because I can at least get the story to some extent. Like I don't understand what the hell is going on here.
Tekken's my favorite one.
You can watch this, the Tekken movie.
Oh,
No,
fuck.
no. I already know about that.
Okay.
I'd rather watch the original Street Fighter movie and laugh at it.
I believe some of the NA folks did already watch that for a video. The live action Tekken movie.
Yeah, also the Street Fighter movie, the one with I don't know how that guy. Oh, what was that guy that played M. Bison? I think he died.
Oh,
Of course.
he died. It was like his last role.
Yeah,
Family.
he was so cool. That was so over the top how he played M. Bison. It's amazing.
Although to be fair, that Street Fighter remake they did, I don't know who did it. I know it's on Netflix. That was legit.
Never seen that.
I think it's like maybe a year or two old now. I know it's on Netflix in the UK, or it was anyway. That's where I watched it. That was like. I can't remember what I can't remember the full name. It was Street Fighter, obviously something, and it shows like the what's that guy's name? Akuma? Is it Akuma? Yeah. So it shows his like origin and obviously Ryu and Ken. It's like a way more. Bear in mind, obviously it's Street Fighter, so they have all these flashy abilities, but like as realistic as you can get. And I actually really enjoyed it. That was like, if you're gonna make a video game movie, that was probably. Might have been better even than the first Mortal Kombat movie, or up there.
Nice.
Like, so I recommend if you can find it, like definitely watch it.
All right.
All right, that sounds good actually. I might watch it later. There is some video game movies we've actually found okay when we watch them, like the Dead Rising.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't Oscar material, but it was like entertaining.
It was fun.
No, it's like if you were watching it with friends, you could get some good entertainment out of it.
Totally.
It was.
I'm not a fan of video game movies. Like the only ones I like are the first Mortal Kombat one. And
No,
then the Street Fighter one.
Yeah,
No,
Mortal
as-
Kombat, the Prince of Persia movie was okay. It was kind of like a little bit like the Mummy, the first Mummy movie.
But none of them were Persian. Like they're Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal,
Like
technically, he is from Jewish descent, which I think makes him like the most
the closest thing to Persian in that
closest
film.
thing to an ethnic group close to Persia, I guess.
I actually watched The Sands of Time in cinema.
Oh.
It wasn't that bad. It was okay.
I think if you took the name of the video games away on their own, they'd be acceptable films. But because they're video
Because they're
game
based
films,
off
there's a
the
certain
video-
expectation.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
automatically expected an
yeah.
expectation.
Does that work for Assassin's Creed movie?
I've only heard one person praise it in my life personally.
I feel
Everyone
like
else craps on
movies.
I think if you
Fans-
take away Assassin's Creed, it still
I
makes
think
it a
movie
shit
licensed
movie.
games can be better than video game movies sometimes.
Oh well.
it. So what was that? Video games are better than video game movies.
No. Movie licensed games can sometimes be better than.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree.
When you do vice versa,
True.
And that's saying something because movie licensed games are often awful.
Yeah, but there's. I mean, even South Park came out recently, and that was great. So
South Park is the best example of a licensed video game.
Oh fuck yeah!
Seriously.
Fuck yeah! They put actual effort into it. It's great.
Yes.
Anyways, let's move on for this.
All right.
So PC gaming questions. Neo Complete Edition debuts on PC.
I need to get that, even though that thing will kick my ass. I know, but I need to get it. It looks so good.
I want to get it.
Samurai Dark Souls, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still yet to play the PS4 version, so I might just get on PC. So it looks really good.
I might get it one of these days. It's not quite a genre that I'm all that interested in, but like I've heard a lot of good things about.
Yeah, the honor's been oversaturated as fucking in recent years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You had Lords of the Fallen and then the Surge.
Is it awful if I say that I've actually did play Lords of the Fallen and I kind of liked it?
Meh.
Get out. Should be hanged at sunset.
It's not perfect, but it was kind of interesting, seeing as I've never played any of the Dark Souls games.
Oh well.
No, there's not much to say to this topic.
Yeah.
It came out. I want to play it.
Yeah.
That's it, really. So since I basically skipped and read that on my own, anyone else want to read number 12?
All right.
Go ahead, Doper.
Is there any of the your properties that you would like to see revived without publisher interference? And who would you choose and why? Well, there's a couple of things. Like, first of all, I'd like either another Wing Commander or another Command & Conquer.
Oh yes.
I want a remake of Jade Empire by BioWare.
So here's the thing. I was going to say that, but I think Jade Empire was published underneath 2K, wasn't it? It wasn't published underneath EA.
It might be. I'm not 100% sure, but it might be. Yeah, but
BioWare's under.
Yeah,
BioWare's under EA now. So.
Yeah, they're under EA now. Yeah. And I agree. I would want a Jade Empire, but I think I don't know. I don't know how that would work with the license, because if it was published underneath 2K before they got with EA, but I don't know. I'd like another Jade Empire game.
I'd like them to make another SimCity, like an actual SimCity. I know technically the studio
RIP Maxis.
That Maxis is technically still somewhat alive, but in terms of like actuality, like the people behind some of the SimCity and Sims games, I'm pretty sure they've all left. So it's just a husk of a studio now. Like, but I still want like a new SimCity.
But they did shut down Maxis, didn't they? Like, I'm sure some of the people are still around, but they officially shut down.
Well, I think EA says that the Maxis brand will live on.
Yeah, Maxis brand is still there. They've been. I mean, how else can they release like several Sims expansions still? For 4. But yeah, I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I don't think there's a single EA game that I really want to see like really revived. I mean, Crysis, for example. Crytek is not under EA.
Mass Effect.
Mass Effect is still going on.
But no, but they put it on the shelf.
Oh yeah, for now, yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, they had Andromeda just come out. I mean, it's not like
Yeah, now. Look,
it's not like
I know it's still
dead right
recent.
now.
No, I know it's still recent, but they've put it on the shelf. And I'd rather see someone else take over. I still want BioWare to do it. I just don't want EA's hands over it.
Yeah, I would also either Commander and Conquer, and I actually would like a Generals, so not the normal Commander and Conquer series.
I mean, they were making a Command & Conquer game, but they shut that down.
Yeah, I know, but I really want a new Command and Conquer Generals because I so enjoyed that series. It was so fun. Or
I mean, I know a game will never. I will never see remade again, and that is I want Ultima back. But that'll never, not in a million years.
Yeah, I know.
That'll never happen.
The other thing I would like to see is a good one, a fun one, an SSX game. Like
wow.
a really good one. Like not the super like serious ones. I think the last few ones were super serious and with a lot of stupid gimmicks they didn't need. No, go back to the old ones. Good music, a funny DJ, and feisty characters and awesome ridiculous tricks. That's what I want. That's exactly what I want.
3 was at its very peak. 3 was really
I
good.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah, 3 was its peak. Then On Tour came out, was okay, and then, they remade it years later, and it was shit.
Yeah. That's something I'd love to see.
Yeah. Yeah, I've actually played the new one. Did you know if you actually fall off a cliff, you actually have to restart the race?
Yeah.
And they showed wing gliding into it, which is fun, but boring.
Also,
At the same time.
Doper, I can totally support Wing Commander. I love that game.
Yeah.
Holy crap, that was amazing. With the real action, the live action cutscenes with the big Hollywood actors and shit, that was amazing.
Like that game. Let's see. Which one was that other game? Well, that and there's a couple of actual good FMV games, and Wing Commander is definitely one.
Yeah.
Specifically because it actually took the time. Not only did it really make movie quality FMVs, but it got professional Hollywood actors.
Like Mark Hamilton was in one, right?
Yeah, Malcolm McDowell.
Yeah.
The John Rhys Davies, a lot of really good actors.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I would want to see back? Possibly the best game that I played by EA in my childhood. Just another Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, or just a general Lord of the Rings, but the style of Return of the King. It was just beautiful back in the PS2 generation.
That's true, yeah, that was a good game.
Remember the strategy games like Battle for Middle Earth? Those were really good.
Yeah, I enjoyed these as well. That's true.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of shit that you can't even get either one Battle for Middle Earth 1 or 2 anywhere.
Yeah, it's because I believe they don't own the license anymore. So,
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah.
Because it's a really,
sad,
really
but
good
maybe
game.
Good, because it's not gonna happen. What happened to fucking Star Wars recently?
Oh, true.
So who knows? But it's a good point. They made some really fucking good Lord of the Rings games back in the day. Return of the
King is absolutely fantastic.
First one was really
just
good.
it was just beautiful. I just remember that I think no Lord of the Rings game has topped that yet. I mean, Shadow of Mordor.
No.
I thought. War in the North. War in the North was pretty decent, but it still didn't top Return of the King.
Yep.
Go back to that era. That was just beautiful.
War in the North also. You can also play that as 3 people. We might round up some people and play that again.
Yeah.
It's a good game.
That'd be cool.
Yep. Ah, fuck.
What did you do?
I hit my leg.
All right. So what's up next?
Number 13. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Alright.
Yourself.
Okay, fine. Have you heard any awful stories about midnight launch releases in gaming stores? Also, have you personally gone to any midnight releases? I have, not for me, but for a coworker who was gonna pick up a Call of Duty Black Ops 3, specifically the €129 mini fridge edition.
Oh, no.
That was and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go with you because if we start working somewhere like 10 or half past 10. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go with you because I want to see that fucking thing. Like, I need to like at least experience that fucking thing. So I stand in line for like over an hour, like in the rain, with like 20 or 30 other people, just waiting for that store to open on midnight. And I gotta say, honestly, it was kind of worth it when my coworker like paid like €130, and the guy just put this massive like thing on the on the table, and he walked out of that store with like everyone's eyes on that thing. Like, that's honestly kind of amazing. I have no interest in fucking mini fridge for a video game, but that shit did look really fucking cool. I'll admit that.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't go to midnight launches. I don't find them fun.
I've never done it either.
I usually have shit to do the next day. I'd rather just get some sleep in and get it next day.
Yeah, same here.
It's
I don't need to play it immediately, like 8 hours ahead. I'm not like that, you know.
On Sky, as soon as the download came online, it's not quite the same. I was just disappointed nonetheless, but it's the only one I've stayed up late enough to play as soon as it came out.
Yeah, I mean, I've done that too, but it doesn't really count.
That's not the same, yeah.
That's just like, I'm gonna buy digitally so I can play it earlier. Nah,
it's kind of, yeah, I also find that whole idea, like that practice, just kind of pointless. Like, okay, I can get this game like right at midnight, so I can play it like 10 hours earlier.
You
can also pre-download though.
Like, okay, so what? So I can't, like, they're not gonna run out. Like, if I'm pretty sure if I buy like Shadow War at launch day, I could just walk into a store and buy that motherfucking thing. Like, there's no really big incentive for me to like wait in front of a store to get that copy because it's so fucking limited.
Yeah, I think the only game that I can remember back that I knew a few people actually went to midnight releases is World of Warcraft, and that the original one. The first one. So just because they wanted to be a few hours ahead of everybody and times, level wise.
Okay, yeah, that I can kind of understand when having those first few hours can actually give you a head start.
Yeah, but other than that, I don't really see why you would do it.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it's a thing of the past, really.
Yeah.
When physical games were still more relevant.
I don't know, man. It still happens in England, like when like COD and FIFA and those games come out. People still go to shops like Asda and whatnot for midnight purchases, man.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen here. We're such a small country over here that it's like, there's no point to it. Oh, so 100 people are gonna come and pick it up. It's not worth it. We might as well just.
Yeah, no, it's still nuts here like that. I've never done it. Closest I came to was buying a PS4 on launch day, but that was during the day. Like, I've never stood in line at midnight for a game.
Yeah, why would you stand in line at midnight?
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Even then, it's like, when it comes to physical games, I just order them online these days, and they come in the mail on launch. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's so much more easy.
Yeah.
No hassle, nothing.
Yeah. As for let's move on from this. I think.
The good thing is the next question can be answered in one word.
The Access game should be nominated for Game of the Year.
No. Fuck no.
Fuck no.
No.
Yeah.
That's just dumb.
You're giving someone a pat on the back for doing half their work, if that.
Yeah.
But we've already discussed this.
Yeah.
All right, last number 15 here. All right, so Noctis from Final Fantasy 15 joins as a playable fighter in Tekken 7.
That's kind of like Soul Calibur did in all their games. They put in some weird character from another universe.
Ezio, Darth Vader.
Yeah. Right.
That's the argument people have been using for Noctis being in Tekken 7. They said he should just have been in Soul Calibur because he uses a sword.
Oh, yeah, that's actually true.
But he uses it. It doesn't matter. I don't know. I think it's cool. Cross-platform. Like, did you guys see the video reactions to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Yes.
Dude, I was so happy for those people. Like, their reactions, like, man, that's how video games should make you feel.
Yeah. Hey, to be fair, in Tekken, Yoshimitsu also has a sword, no?
Mm-hmm.
Right,
I mean,
right.
I was happy to see Noct in Tekken 7. Personally, I'm like, yeah, sure, this can go well. I mean, I'm not angry.
I wonder how they will incorporate him in the story. Is it going to be like some space-time warp and he ends up in that universe?
He's just a guest character.
Did you see the trailer for it?
Nah.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so I think they kind of... Did they do something story like Lars calls him or something, right?
Yeah, they called him.
I just remember with the Soul Calibur with Heihachi, there was some weird kind of space-time thingy with him where he ended up in the Soul Calibur universe. It was weird. It was super weird.
Meanwhile, Noct just appears because you watched the trailer. Lars called him. They wanted him there.
Nice.
Yes.
So it's official. The Hayachi Corporation, Mishima Corporation, is a thing in the Final Fantasy world. Confirmed.
Apparently now.
Probably.
It's probably not canon, but I mean,
Namco are making it canon.
it's cool. It's cool. It really is.
We need more game franchises doing crossovers like that. That would be super fun.
Yeah, no, it's just so cool. Like, even though like they're technically competitors, right? They're like, yeah, we'll work together. I always appreciate that, even if I don't care for the end product.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't care for Ezio being in Soul Calibur, but I appreciated where
I
it came.
found that hilarious.
Yeah, like it's funny, right? But like, I just don't care. Like, like from a law point of view or whatever. Like, okay,
Yeah.
it's like a novelty, but it's a cool novelty.
I mean, this goes back to FF15 as well, because they had an event where Assassin's Creed was in that game.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They had it.
yeah, you would go to this town and they would have an Assassin's Creed festival, and Noct and his friend will just bitch about being like, "Oh, we're big fans of Assassin's Creed. We'll love this."
I think Ubisoft just have a decent relationship with Japanese studios. It seems.
Yeah, apparently. I mean, I'm all cool with it. I mean, if it's non-canon and it's it's free content for everyone. I mean, this is not free, but whatever. I mean. I'm okay with games doing collabs with each other. It's all fun.
Absolutely.
We need Persona characters in Tekken.
Oh god.
Persona characters is already appearing in Blaze Blue, Persona 4.
Ah, okay.
Nice.
They have that.
Alongside,
they have their own fighting game, right? Like Persona 4 had its own fighting game, didn't it?
Yeah.
I bought it and I never played it. I still have it somewhere, but
Yeah.
they do the same thing for Persona 5.
Yeah, they're appearing with that one. They're appearing with Blaze Blue characters in that one Rooster Teeth show, Ruby, whatever.
I haven't watched it. I've heard about it.
But those characters are appearing in that game too. So
That's cool.
I wonder what kind of characters they will put in. If the new Soul Calibur game is a thing, what kind of character they would put in that?
They're gonna put rabbits.
Oh, no. Oh, no, not the Rayman rabbits, please, no.
Yeah, no, it'll be the Princess Peach rabbit.
Oh, okay, great.
yeah. Rayman, who's Rayman?
Or, like, maybe the android from Nier Automata? That would be fucking cool.
No, that makes way more sense. That makes way more sense than having Darth Vader and Ezio.
Yeah. There was also one of the, I think the GameCube version had Link, I think.
Yes, it did.
He was super fun.
Yeah, it did have Link, yeah.
That is the one where you would press a button and he would scream.
Yeah, that was so annoying. Holy crap.
It's like, yes.
And the most badass one, I'm not sure which version that was, but there was one with Spawn. And that was badass. He was one of the most badass characters ever.
They were all console exclusives, right? So obviously GameCube had Link.
Yes.
Then one platform had Spawn. I think Xbox, I want to say.
I think it's Xbox, yeah. They got Spawn, I think.
And then someone got Darth Vader.
Yeah.
PS2 versions of Soul Calibur 2 got Heihachi.
Right, and then the next iteration was different Star Wars characters, like Yoda, Darth Vader, and stuff like that. Yeah, right.
And then 5 years had Ezio.
Yeah, that's lazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
They also had, they did not have Devil Jin in Tekken, but they had his moveset.
alright.
For customizable characters in 5. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Is Devil Jin not in Tekken 7?
I'm talking about Soul Calibur 5.
Oh, Soul Calibur, sorry. All right.
Yeah, he's in 7. It's just,
Alright, cool.
it's all fun.
Yeah. Alright, are we through?
I think we are.
We have made it! Holy crap.
So I'm gonna allow people to plug their shit. Doper, plug your shit.
You can find me Twitter as Doper WTGE _, and on YouTube also as Doper WTGE. Yeah, that's it.
All right. Yay. Where can we find you?
You can find me on YouTube, JWaddy, JAYWADDY. I haven't got a unique URL yet, unfortunately. You get me on Twitch though, twitch.tv/JWaddy, Twitter @JWaddy, then the number 1. And I was in a video game recently. I voiced 2 characters. For Hostile Regulation, it's on Game Jolt. If anyone wants to check that out, just Google Game Jolt Hostile Regulation. And yeah.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks. Oh, and thank you guys for having me on. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
No problem, man. It's fun talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good. It was interesting.
Let's see here. Redox is not here, so Retro Shit, where can we find you?
You can find me YouTube and on Twitter, both as RetroSheep08.
All right. Shadow.
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter as Shadow1990CH, where I do VR stuff and gaming stuff and all the stuff. I do a lot of stuff.
Hey.
Good.
Also, you can find me on YouTube under Cycle Render and on Twitter under Cycle Render. Sometimes Twitch. Sometimes. Renegade, where can we find you? I'm just fucking with him because he's in there.
Can't find him anywhere.
Wait, he's not. He called me an asshole. All right, take care, everyone. This was fun.
See you next time.
Thank you.
Fuck
Take
yeah!
care.
Bye.
Bye.
Fuck yeah!
Yeah.
Bye, Lootboxes.
Yeah.
Loot boxes are your friends.
Yes.
Worst.
All right, stop my recording.